scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it.
What is good on my trappers? They freed a real one. Bobby Shmurda out the pen. I had to play that. What do you want me to do? Bobby Shmurda. They let a real one out the pen. What is good, everybody? Let me get my microphone plugged in. Probably should have done that a little ahead of time, but I'm very excited about tonight. Got a real one, real guest on who I'm excited to bring onto the channel. But man, what's good, everybody? Do I got this on right? Let me shut you up left. Man, it's cracking. How's everybody doing? It's your boy MJ up in the building. Really excited, like I said, man. Before we get started, please, first time tapping into Trap Talk with MJ. By the way, world's coolest reptile podcast, period. Do your boy a favor. Hit the subscription button, hit the like button, dislike, leave me a comment. Drop a comment for the guest. Let me know how you like the guest. Let the guest know how you're liking the show, because it's all about the guest. And this is all for you guys, okay? Before we also move forward into the next topic, what I'm going to talk about, man, U.S. art, okay? We got to keep supporting U.S. art. It's amazing right now, the support on what everyone's doing for U.S. art. So if you want to continue to push the movement, U.S. art, okay? Drop, in the description below is the email to support U.S. art. So please do that if you can. Any super chats that are dropped in this episode moving forward, any super chats, penny all the way to whatever money you want to drop is going to get forward over to US Arc as well. All right, so let's all get together, work as a team, and that's that, man. But if we're going to talk about what's the best, we already know what the best is. That's www.coldbloodedcafe.com. Freshest and bestest delivered to your doorstep. Day one pinks, mammoth rats, $30 flat rate shipping. Shout out to John and Alex over at Sim Container, man. Sim boxes are blowing up still. Production should be released here soon. I know John just got another order not too long ago. And yeah, Sim boxes are going to be out and about. So make sure you go to simcontainer.com. You jump on your chance to actually, get your hands on a Sim box. Sim boxes is where they're at, man. I'm telling you, once you go sim box route, you'll never go anywhere other route again. All right. And I'm actually going to do a sim container giveaway. Okay. So give me a couple weeks and I'm going to do a sim container giveaway. Damn, that dab really sucked the wind out of me. It was either that or all the dancing. So let me catch my breath. All right. It's Focus Cube Habitat, man. The future of enclosures. I'm telling you, this is where it's at. PVC built enclosures, very light, very easy, and durable at the same time, which is awesome. You know, usually durability comes with something that's heavy. Not with these. These are awesome. So make sure you go check them out. They're on Instagram. There's their website. And yeah, the future is here. I'm telling you, Focus 3, Focus Cube Habitats. Check them out. Stainless steel racks, the original, the real deal Freedom Breeder. Shout out to Freedom Breeder, made in the United States. You guys know what the deal is. You got a Freedom Breeder rack, pat yourself on the shoulder. You are already on that professional level, because I'll tell you what, these Freedom Breeder racks are here to stay. Like, they don't get all old on you or, you know, deteriorate. They're good. So Freedom Breeders, that's where, if you got those, you're in the right place. I'll tell you that much. All right. And then I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Aussie Boys real quick. Aussie Boys gave me a year of support, and I'm super thankful for it. He's no longer going to be associated with Trap Talk podcast anymore. So I do want to say shout out to Aussie for supporting the channel for a whole year. Much love to you, bro. And yeah, man, just want to say shout out to Aussie. But at the end of the day, man, this channel is only meant for one big dog, and we already know who that big dog is. The real deal, Miguel Garcia, always evolving pythons. The motherfucker who's just been believing in me since the start. Talk about inspiration. I'm not the only one that this guy's inspired or inspires. I know that for a fact. I think a lot of you've come to me and relate the fact that Miguel's inspired you as much as he's inspired me, and that's what I'm saying, man. That's love. This guy is really here for the hobby. He's really here for the industry, and he's not going to go anywhere, man. So make sure you go check out Miguel Garcia, always evolving pythons. Not only one of the coolest motherfuckers in the industry, but has the hardest name in the industry. Facts. I've actually had other big breeders tell me that on the show. So shout out to all my sponsors. I love you guys, man. Thanks for the support. Early Birds. Who's here right now? Dang, you guys are all up jamming right now. Early Birds up in the building. All right, so the homie Josh Fallon. What up, Josh? The homie Josh up in the building. Martin Morphs. What's up, Martin? Thanks for being here. The General. Appreciate you being here, man. Runyon Reptiles. What's up, dude? How are you, man? I'm doing good. Ryan. What's up, Ryan? Mindy, the homegirl Mindy. What's up, Mindy? You ready for tonight? I'm ready for tonight. What's up, Manny? How are you? Savage Beauty Exotics. What's cracking? Jason. What is? Yep. I already knew he was going to say something sweet. Jason loves Des. Jason's yeah, Jason's the homie. I love Jason. What's good, Jason? Ball Morphix. What's up, Ball? How you doing? Fours, Pythons, Bateman. What's up? The homie Antoine. What is good? High Desert Pythons. You want to talk about a guy who knows his guns? That's the motherfucker to follow. What's up, Tucker? The homie Tucker. What's good, Tuck? All right, you guys are all here, man. I don't want to keep our guests waiting, because she is, like, you know, it's not cheap to have this girl on. I'm tell you right now, her features are just not like they're feasible, because I had a great year last year, but you know, time is money right now. So we're gonna get her on right now because I'm super excited. I've had the opportunity of gaining a friendship with this female over the past 12 months. I mean, I would say a good year. Me and her have connected and talked, and I'm just so excited to have her in. And here she is right now. This is Desiree Monnot from Cold Blooded Cafe.
Hey.
Hi, Desi. Des, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Let me blow my nose. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm at home, so sorry I don't have some fun animals to bring out.
People, okay, listen. I don't think anyone needs you to show animals to get that kind of credibility. You know, and if you really want to see what Des is all about, you got to check out the Unfiltered Reptiles podcast we did with her. And dude, you had, what caiman did you pull out? You pulled some caiman out. You went berserk.
Oh, I think I had Chico out, the alligator.
Chico, that's what it was. It was Chico. And yeah, that was a wild one. But anyways, anybody who follows Desiree or follows Reptek page knows that she is around animals every single day of her life. You know, whether if it's a monitor, snake, alligator, caiman, or Lars.
Yeah, he is an animal.
Lars is probably the hardest holdback you could ever ask for in your entire life.
Oh, yes.
He is
nonstop.
He's a special kid, and we're gonna get into Lars a little bit later into the episode. But real quick, Des, okay? Because man, I feel like there's not enough people who know you. You know what I mean? Especially like the new wave of people, right? Because I mean, you've been in this for a while. Like, you know, we've talked about like 2010 really was the big start of things, right? But people that little insight of like, you know who you are, like what it is that your involvement with the hobby is as of right now.
Well, right now I am just trying to manage cold-blooded cafe, and then raise reptiles and breed reptiles. So yeah, we're just trying to keep people employed. I just recently decided to offer health benefits, and I'm offering it free to my employees. So I'm taking 100% cost on that. So that's pretty huge. Not many companies can do that, or want to, I guess. But I appreciate my staff so much, and they work really hard. So I'm doing that for them. And I am a mother, so a lot of my time is spent with my son. And I try to do as much as I can with the reptiles. My days are pretty typical. I wake up about 7 o'clock with Lars, get him going, do some breakfast, and then he goes to a sitter, and then I go to work, and I work all day. I hit the gym every day too. That's actually really good for my mental state. And yeah, the rest of the day is spent on the farm, just managing people, helping out. I was shipping boxes for a long time. Since for like the last year, I decided to just get back in there with everybody and pack boxes for shipping. So that was pretty crazy.
You're back in
work. Yeah, it's
okay. But to be fair, Des, like, you know, people say like, you know, you put in your time. Like, what did you do in the beginning? Like, you know,
oh my God.
and you're allergic. Like, okay, you found out you're allergic to mice, right?
Mice and rats, yeah.
And rats. And you didn't know that until you started working with them.
Yeah. I was an office person, and we had a smaller location than we have now. And so in one of the garages, there was live rodents going, and it started coming through the HVAC system. And every day I would start getting this asthma attack, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I would just have to leave. And I'm like, I can't even breathe here. I guess it must just, I don't know what it was.
Right.
Finally, I was like, I'm just going to go get tested and see what's going on with allergies. And I had just moved here from Florida. So I moved from Florida to Indiana, and I realized that I was allergic to pretty much all of Indiana, and rats and mice. So now every Thursday I go get shots. I had my shots today, just so I can be on the farm and walk through the barn and be able to run this business. So yeah, pretty crazy.
So you get shots how often, Des?
Once a week.
Oh wow, once a week. That sucks.
Yeah, you have to go
do it.
Files, like you start with yellow, or like green, yellow, red, orange, red. I don't know. There's like a whole system. And then once you get to maintenance, then you only have to do it like monthly or something like that. But so I'm working on getting to my maintenance level.
Respect. All right, Des. So let's talk about kind of, you know, I know we've talked about this a couple of times, and, you know, quite a bit on our other podcasts. By the way, Desiree is my co-host on Unfiltered Reptiles podcast. So we do talk about a lot of her upcomings and whatnot here and there. But, you know, for this show, I do want you to kind of run through like the relationship you have with animals, you know, like growing up and stuff, South Dakota, right? That's where you grew up.
Yeah.
Are you always the type to go herping and stuff like that? Go look for animals, get yourself dirty and beat up? Like, you know, were you like the tomboyish type growing up?
Yeah, I was definitely a tomboy. We actually lived in the national forest up in the mountains and didn't really have neighbors at the time. So my parents made us go outside, and we all had bikes, and I grew up with all my neighborhood kids. They were all guys. So yeah, we definitely went out in the woods. I wouldn't say I necessarily was like flipping rocks or like looking for specific reptiles. I was just all around, loved animals. And we had a dog growing up. And then I got a frog for my birthday one year from a friend of mine. So that became like my passion right away. It was just like this awesome creature. It wasn't like a cat or a dog. It was this really cool frog. And I met Forrest when I was about 15, and that's like my first time experiencing a snake. So before that, I was a little afraid of snakes when I was definitely younger. And when I met him, it was like just jump right into it. He had a 13-foot Burmese python. And that was his first snake. Yeah. So he was like 16, I was 15. And we raised that thing for a couple years, and then traded it in for a ball python and a red-tailed boa. So yeah.
Now, and then let me just ask you this, okay? Because obviously you went from obviously big snakes, right? But like there was a big movement in things, and like things just started picking up because again, for people who don't know, Desiree, it's the biggest rodent facility, or not facility, but rodent company in the United States. Is that right? Like, are you guys the biggest?
I would say that we're like the second or third behind Rodent Pro.
Okay, but one of the biggest, you could say for sure, right?
Yeah.
And then you for sure have by far one of the nicest, most diverse collections in the United States, if not in the world.
Thank
okay.
You.
So yeah. So all this stuff came, you know what I mean? And I wanted to know, like, at what point did you like look around and say, damn, this shit's like about to go somewhere. Like it's about to be something big. Like I want to know at what time did that really sink in your head?
I would say when we were living in Florida, and this was probably 2011, 2012. And Forrest, we found this farm property. It was like 5 acres, and it had this big barn on it and a little trailer. And he's like, we got to get this property. So we found a way to rent it. And he just decided, I mean, he had been breeding rodents, from day one. We would have rental houses, and he'd just turn the garage into a little barn. Right. But in Florida, like this house that we had, it was all rodent. So he turned in this whole big barn and had racks everywhere. And that's when I was like, okay, this is getting big. I think this can go somewhere. And just jumped on board with him, let him do his thing. I was in nursing school at the time. And so I was commuting to Tampa from Eustis, which is like outside of Orlando. And about that point. And actually in 2012 is when we made our first LLC. We did Forrest Fanning Reptiles, and that was the first company name, which has been turned into Cold-Blooded Cafe now. And then we turned Reptek into a company as well, a legit company. But yeah, so I would say around that time frame. And we had, I would say we probably had like 50 ball pythons at the time. Not too much going on reptile wise, but tons of rodents.
So the rodents was the big, as far as like responsibility that you guys had to learn how to manage before the reptiles. It was about the rodents.
Yeah, it always was. It always has been. And it always will be 100% rodents first.
Because without the
rodents, you can't feed your snakes. So it's like that was the whole reason we even started building rat racks with our hands and, starting out that way. I think the first group of snakes he got was 100 baby ball pythons. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember him telling me, yeah.
Yeah. So we got 100 baby balls.
He invested crazy into the scale of this project, and then he sold it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now also to state now, people always probably trip out because I know they came to me after people knew I was really good with friends with you and Steven. I'd have people come to me asking, how come you guys don't have anything for sale? And I told them, I was like, well, for one thing, they don't get animals to sell them. Like this is like their collection. They're like, they just love these animals, you know? I mean, and I told them not that they won't ever breed, but that's not their main, like, that's not why they get these things, you know, especially in the beginning. Like this was just about having really unique, diverse collection, because I think Forrest wanted to have like one of the nicest private zoos, right? Like that was his dream, zoo dreams, right? Have the private zoo, right?
Yeah.
Right. But like what I was trying to get at is that's not possible without the rodents, right? Because the rodents was sustaining all that and putting food on the table. And I mean, that's the business. Rodents is the business.
Rodent
Right.
is a business.
Is
Sure.
business.
Yeah.
And you guys are obviously blowing up. Like, you know, last year we talked about how freaking, you know, you guys fucking blew up because of COVID. You know, a lot of companies did. It's still looking like that now. You guys are having crazy ass blowout weeks. How are you guys maintaining with all that right now? Are you guys sometimes look around and say, damn, we need to expand? Or are you able to still give what you need to give without having to expand? What do you think?
Well, I feel like we're always expanding. We're always finding new crevices in the barn to put in new racks. So it's a constant growth. I would love to put up another barn. That would be amazing. But yeah, like this past week was horrendous because of the snowstorm that occurred out here.
Right.
And we had, I don't even know, shit, at least 30 boxes that were already packed and ready to go, and they didn't pick our shipments up. So we ended up having to hold those outside. Well, it's semi outside. It's just got a roof covering, but an open door, so it's still cold. And it was fascinating because there was still some dry ice left in some of these boxes because we had to open up every single box and re-ice them so that they could go out the following week. And that took up a lot of time.
Okay.
But just keeping up on it. It's a lot.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Dude, I mean, what's crazy is when you say about a lot, right? You know, I've talked to Steven, you know, shout out to Steven Kush, in which we'll get into Bubs in a minute. But I talked to like Steven, and he's like, you know, I tell, you know, we all know Steven works. Like he just goes like ham too much time. He needs to take a break, right? And I had an idea, but had a real idea when I went to go visit you guys. And I remember like, you know, Steven was kind of even like, I wouldn't say taking it easy, but he was more hanging out with me and like, you know, not, you know, but I could just see like how draining those days could be from having to jump from the rodents, right? Manage the rodent team, which by the way, your guys' team's solid. Good job.
They really
team. Shout out to Amanda, Mindy, Mark, and who's the other homeboy?
Brock, Nick, Jamie, Austin.
Brock.
Team.
All right.
Yeah.
The team that Kush and Des built. It's amazing. But yeah, man, you guys. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot, you know, and but you know, it's something you can't do without passion, right? There's no way in hell you can do what you do without the love for it, and that's why I kind of respect it, because a lot of people come see my stuff and they're like, "Wow, how do you do it?" And I'm like, "Man, I want more because how much I love it." And then if I ever wanted to get an idea on what it feels like to be maxed out, I just go over to Reptek and just be like, oh, "Okay, so this is what it would feel like."
Know you're passionate about rodents when you see a frozen bag, and you're like, damn, that's a nice looking bag. And you're just like over here judging the quality and who packs them and like how nice they look. And it's freaking awesome. I don't know. I definitely get in there and do every little job with everybody as much as I can. And so I'll put product away with Amanda. That's like her main job. And I'm just like, damn, look at that bag, or who did that one, or it's fun.
I think it's a pride
when you're like, that's a nice looking rat.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, too. I mean, you guys flex with the packing. You guys is packing professional. You're like, I love getting my cold-blooded cafe rodents because, like, just the time that and the way you guys put in just the packing it. I've seen other. I don't know any companies under the bus, but I've seen how some companies pack their shit and it's pretty miserable. So it's like, you know, I don't know. Teach their own, but I know I'm a cold-blooded cafeer forever. That's just where it's at because you guys put a lot of work into what you guys do, and you could tell. And I know there's a lot of people out there who fuck with Cold Blooded Cafe because they hit me up, they tag me, they tag Des. Dude, that's it, bro. Cold Blooded Cafe is the wave, plain and simple.
Thank you.
Now let's get into more of the animals, right? So being that you guys are so diverse, you have so many different species. I know. Excuse me. I know Bubs probably knows the number right off the top of his head, but I'm gonna see if you do. How many species of reptiles do you guys keep all together?
Species is like 80 and 90.
Say that again.
80 to 90.
Species of reptiles. So we're talking lizards, snakes, and then obviously the alligators and whatnot, the caimans.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it more at one point? Did you guys have over 100 at one point?
Probably.
Yeah. Because if I remember right, there was, I don't know if it was last year, but 2 years ago, but there were some things that you were starting to move around and you guys let go of, right? Certain, because I mean, it wasn't too many, but I could have sworn I remember talking to Forrest and he said you guys had over 100 at one point.
I mean, the amount of Abonia, I would say that's probably true.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. And he had a lot of like one-off stuff, like different kind of like a conehead lizards. Like,
oh yeah,
what did we need those for? I don't know. Like, we didn't do shit with them. They didn't breathe. They didn't do anything. They just sat around and ate crickets. But they were cool looking. They're like little aliens, and they were pretty cool. But that's one of the things we sold off.
They had like a little shield on their head type thing, right? It looked like a helmet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, sick. So okay, so now what want to get into is like the stuff that I really vibe with that you guys have is like the chondros, right? We all love chondros, and you guys have you guys still have really nice chondros, but your guys' chondro collection was really big at one point,
Yeah.
And when did that love really start? Because that chondro obsession started with Cody, right? Was that kind of a Cody Forrest thing, or did that start with let's kind of talk about that obsession with chondros and how that became a part of Reptek for a while.
Yeah, so I would say in 2006, 2007 is when Forrest and I met Cody, and we just had we were living in Las Vegas, and I can't remember, let's see, I think we got a green tree, and then when we met Cody, he was totally into him too. So then between the two of them, it just started becoming like, hoarding, where they just got as many as they could because they loved them so much. So that goes way back.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Vegas, right? Those are that's Nevada Day, right? Nevada days.
I love Nevada. I would live there again. Yeah.
You would move to Nevada?
I would live there again, yeah.
Dang. I don't know, man. Nevada's raw. It's so hot. It's like, I get how some people love, like my sister. Good.
Reno's not that bad because you're in the mountains and they actually get snow in winter. So they have more like season. Because that's where we started. We actually started in Truckee, which is on the California side of Lake Tahoe. And we lived there for a little while, and then we lived in Reno, and then we lived in Las Vegas.
So if someone were to say, Des, I could put you anywhere in the United States, have your damn barns, have Reptek, whatever the hell you want, where would you go?
Texas. Okay.
Shout out to Texas.
Yeah.
We love Texas. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. You're supposed to go there next month, right? Or no, April.
Yeah. We moved the trip because of the snowstorm, and everybody was out of power, and it was
not a good time. Now, Arlington's in April. So is that when you're going? Are you going when Arlington's cracking, or when are you?
I can, yeah, I mean, I can change the flight again, and I don't even know what's going on. Like,
True.
if stuff is actually going to happen. I mean, they can schedule it all they want, but if, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like they give us much of a heads up when they cancel it, huh? It's
No.
like, cool, here, it's canceled the week of, it's like, what?
Yeah, I know. Someone else asked me about Tinley in July or May, and I was like, I don't know. Like, if it's happening, I'll be there. It's only 3 hours away. We'll make it happen.
Now, with you, where you guys are at now, right? Indianapolis, it's fucking cold. It's how cold there right now? It's
well, actually, right now is pretty nice. We've had about 40s and 50s the last couple days, but we did have like that really bad snowstorm last week, and it got down into like 15 degrees or something.
Now, I had talked to Steven, and even you guys have power outages. Like, you guys, sometimes your powder goes to shit. God damn it, why can't I talk? Sometimes your power goes to shit, right?
Yeah.
But what is something you guys have in play? I forgot what he told me. He has something that automatically turns on generators or something like that, or like, what do you guys have for that? Just so some people can know out there.
Yeah, we use generators, and they're hooked up to the meter, and so they'll come on if the power goes out or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Yeah. Crucial.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of generator, they have small ones to big ones, and you can run just a couple things, or you can run your entire place. So we're going to be upgrading to where we can have literally absolutely everything going. But we do have two right now. One runs the barn, one runs the main reptile room.
Okay. Right. Now with the rooms, right? So you have quarantine room and you have the main room. But there's also stuff in the back burner. Like, there's stuff going on right now that not a lot of people know about. Like there's a alligator croc facility being built, right? Or something for all them to be in, right? And that's looking to get done by this summer, or when is that hoping to?
Well, we have one project in front of that one, so it's kind of just all depends on these contractors taking the jobs, because they came in and gave me a quote, and I was like, that's out of control. Let me shop around. And then I had a second quote, and they quoted even higher. So I was like, well, fuck. Okay. COVID. It's all COVID, because you can't get supplies like the way you did before, and everything's just taking longer. So I asked the guy if he'd take the job on. He's like, well, we got other jobs going on, but I'll see if I can fit you in. So it's just, bullshit like that. But once and he told me he looked at the croc building and was like, yeah, we could knock that out, no problem. So I was like, all right, cool. So once you guys do the cabin, as we call it, then we'll do the croc building. Okay.
So right now the cabin's the first move right now. You're looking to get the cabin.
Yeah, that's going to be like an all Python building.
Oh, yeah. And then aren't you going to have the emeralds in there as well? Like, aren't you going to have some of the arboreal stuff, or no?
No, we're going to keep boas and colubrids in the main room, and there'll be like maybe some monitors in there too. Nice. So there'll be 2 monitor rooms, an arboreal room, a Python building, quarantine. So yeah, big shit coming.
So I want to give you your first big prop. I mean, I've been giving you props, for the most part, like throughout the start of the show, but I want to give you your first big props right now in front of everybody, because one thing that Des has been doing, and she's been killing it at it, is being a co-host for a podcast. And like, Desiree is not the type. I mean, she puts herself out there, like she's on her stories, but before that, like, I mean, I don't know, you weren't always like just like open to put yourself out there, and then you came on the podcast and you just fucking like you really put yourself in an uncomfortable position, because I know it's uncomfortable sometimes, for sure. Like, that's how podcasts are. Like, there's times I get fucking uncomfortable too. Like, like that's what kind of makes you a better person and gives you more drive. And I've seen such a drive in you, you know what I mean, throughout this last, I don't know how many, few months and stuff like that. But let's talk about how that's been for you, being a part of the podcast. having guests that, you got to understand a big reason why I run Unfiltered Reptiles podcast with her and Steven is because they get guests on that I would have no chance in hell getting on. So what's that been like? I want to hear like what's it been like being a part of the podcast and getting legendary people on like fucking, Ed Marino and stuff. Like let's talk about it.
Yeah. So Forrest was real passionate about it. And after his passing, I decided to come on the podcast because obviously I was in a really, really, really bad state and really lonely and really scared. So hearing you guys do it was really inspiring, and I decided to be a host, and it's actually really helped me a lot. Made me feel, like I have some really good true friends, and we get to talk on a regular basis. And with COVID as well happening, that didn't help at all because you can't go anywhere. You couldn't see anyone. You're like locked in your house. So I fully enjoy it. And if it wasn't for Forrest, I wouldn't have been able to get those guests either, because when he got into this game, he went for the biggest fish, and that was like Bob Ashley and those kind of people. And he made friends with them right away. And funny story, he had a Prius. This big 6'6" guy drove a Prius.
Monster. He was big.
Everywhere. And he would go to every single reptile show that there was, and he would drive the Prius, and those things are great on gas. So that's what he did. That was what he was good at, was networking and socializing with people and getting those contacts. And we made those contacts really, really early on. I mean, we were like 18 or 19 the first time we met Bob Ashley at one of the shows. And so being on the podcast has been really good for me, honestly.
Good. I love hearing that, because I mean, I was so surprised. Because wait, okay, I can't remember. Did I ask you and I was scared what you were gonna say and you said you were down, or did you ask to be on? I asked you, right? I was like, hey,
yeah.
Oh man, I was so nervous because I didn't know what you were gonna say. You know what I mean? And me and you were like just starting to talk and stuff like that, because no offense to Des, but when Forrest was here, I would just talk to this guy for like hours. It was just me being him for hours. You know what I mean? But obviously everyone knows who the hell Des. Des is Des. So it was just talking to you and seeing that you really wanted to be a part of it made me know that Unfiltered wasn't going to go anywhere. Because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know what was going to happen either. Like my heart was like fuck. Yeah. Like what do we do now? Like he's the reason why this is happening. Like if it wasn't for him to say, dog, I got the guest, just fucking get it going and I'll hop on the show, I would have never had the balls to start a podcast. Never.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because of the people he's introduced me, who you introduced me, where I actually have the confidence to bring people on, because all those people you guys introduced me to have taken me in like they're like, I'm friends too, even though I don't have as much experience as all you guys. They're still fucking cool as shit, and they're, and probably is because I met them through you, and that's just how it is. It's all who and that's, yeah. And it goes down to what you said. Fucking Forrest went after the biggest fish. He went after the ones who gave him the answers.
Yeah.
He went to all the sources. He knew how to get to the sources. You know what I mean? And obviously you learned that from him. You know what I mean? But I will say, Des, anyone who I've spoken to say they love you, man. All the guests love you. So I mean, I don't think they would have come on if they didn't. But I mean, they love you, Des. And just so you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure you already know this, but so much damn support in this industry, man. So many people love you, Des. It's awesome.
Wait, say that again. It cut out.
Oh,
it cut out.
What was the last thing I said?
Something about everybody. Something.
They support you. I mean, so you got a lot of support in this. Yeah, you got a shit ton in this industry. Sorry.
I know, and I'm really thankful for that.
For reals.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. And yeah. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about as far as the next species, right? Because we just brought up Ed Marino, so I obviously Basins popped in my mind because you have a fucking really sick Ed Marino male.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And you also have a female, so you have a pair of Basins.
Yes.
Okay. Now a lot of people just, I mean, people want to just get into things right now. What is your advice to somebody who wants to get into, like, you know, either a northern emerald tree or a basin? You know, as far as like, you know, I mean, what would you say from your experience, Des, and seeing what you've seen? Like, what would you say your advice is before getting into a species like that?
It's definitely, I mean, they're arboreal and they kind of just chill all day, so they don't take a lot of care, but you should definitely look into it and, you know what you're doing. And the food is key. Like, you don't want to overfeed because you don't want to have the regurg thing happen. And then buying captive bred, definitely. Don't get anything wild caught, because that's where these diseases are going to be coming in from. And captive bred, yeah, that's my biggest advice.
Now, you've had run-ins obviously with imports.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
No, yeah, no, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
Forrest definitely got into emeralds really heavy for a minute. I think we had between 30 and 50 emeralds going for a while. There was a lot, and they would just drop dead, and we're like, what's going on? And they had that regurg syndrome, and it seemed contagious. So we just had to like downsize and then quarantine the ones that were making it and really just focus on them. And you just had to let it work itself out.
Now, the year that happened to you guys, was that around the same time it happened to Cody, or was that after?
I can't remember.
Because Cody, remember Cody got hit with Nido pretty bad, right? And I just can't remember if that was before or after you guys got hit with it pretty hard.
Probably around the same time.
Same time, because this is, I'm thinking there was a huge fucking wave of Nido that got hit and spread to most people's collections, but not everyone's collection got hit as hard right away. And I feel like the people who have it floating in their collection maybe don't even know that they have it, and they're just breeding and doing what the fuck they're doing, or they do have it and they just don't want to tell people about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that. But we definitely experienced it and lost some really amazing animals to it. But it is what it is. If you're going to be in this game, then you have to expect that. And if you have a lot of animals, you are going to have deaths. And that's just reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to hide it.
Yep.
But
100%. And you know, if it's one thing about Unfiltered Reptiles podcast, you'll know we'll bring guests on who don't hide any of that shit. Shout out to fucking James. Oh my God, James! Remember he talked about his Mel's dick getting ripped off from. That's real life. That's real life.
Something.
Yeah. Oh man. So, anyways, it's just a lot of horror. I mean, there is so many trial and errors and all, you know, clearly fucking horror stories that come with these animals, man. And you don't understand, as like, I mean, you have an idea because I mean, I've shared losing animals to you, and you've shared losing animals to me. Same with Steven. And it's kind of crazy how cold you get about it now, because it's like, they're animals. These are fucking animals. You know what I mean? And yeah, you just got to enjoy them while they're here, but nothing means they're going to be here. Nothing means they're going to be here tomorrow. You know what I mean? They're just. And so, I mean, I always have my connection with the animals. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. I think my internet's lagging. Sorry. Go ahead, Des.
Yes, it's lagging a little bit, but when we were volunteering at Robbie's, there was this baby ball python that was like not making it, and they asked me to force feed it. And this was like the first time I had ever done this. And I remember like force feeding this little baby snake, and the tongs like went through the side of its body, and it ended up dying. And I was like so horrified and just like in such shock that this baby ball python didn't make it. And it was like my fault. Like, I killed this thing. Like, it was horrible.
Yeah.
That is. All I'm trying to do is save this thing, and then I make it worse.
You're like, I'm just doing what they told me to do.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. But it's just like, you know, I'm sure you'll never forget that, obviously, but it's because of things like that is why you're meant to work with animals, because if you're with animals and you're with them for so long, you got to get used to death. Death is going to be around no matter what. I don't even care. Especially when you're keeping so many different species. Like, I learned that the fucking hard way. I remember there was okay, not only Forrest, but Andrew. We all know Andrew Acevedo, right? Shout out to me, Andrew. But Andrew was probably more realer than fucking Forrest. Forrest, like, he sugarcoated me. Like, he would tell me what's gonna happen, but like, not bluntly. And Andrew, like, throw it in the freezer. It's dead. Don't worry. Don't even try. Don't even bother. You know what I mean? That's Andrew's fucking thing. And he was right a lot. Andrew was right a lot. You know what I mean? But if it wasn't for them, dude, and them kind of letting me know, like, this is what's gonna happen and be prepared, like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today for sure. I mean, I'm just more accepting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, and when you breed chondros too, what happens? Oh, they die.
Yeah, they sure do.
They just die. Just fucking. Oh yeah, you're not used to death. Breed chondros, they die.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
It's so heartbreaking, but
it is. But I love it.
How many chondros do you guys have now? Like, you have what? You have four pairs breeding this year. Am I tripping?
Yeah, actually, they're in my kitchen right now. There's 4 of them here. I have the quarantine chondros here, and then there's 2 pairs at the shop. Okay, nice. So a really small chondro collection right now,
but really nice ones.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, really, really nice ones. And then obviously, I'm really excited for your guys' Emerald Tree Boa project, because you guys finally got an ovulation, like a confirmed ovulation from what Steven showed on the stories.
Yeah, he's big.
How are you excited for those eggs? Inside joke.
I can't wait for those eggs to come.
That's it, but that's a big milestone right there, the emeralds, right?
Yeah, that'll be our first time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm excited. Yeah. And also too, because boas are just difficult. I feel like boas just they're not too easy. Boas, I don't know what it is. Some people have really better. I mean, some people have a lot, better luck at it. But for me, I'm just realizing boas are taking a little bit more brain power. I don't know why. Yeah,
I mean, we got the Princess Diamond and that labyrinth, and they locked, and we ultrasounded her, and I don't think we really saw anything, but you don't know. But I'm hoping one day to just come in there and all these little babies all over the place. That would be fucking awesome.
That would be really awesome, because I'll tell you what, if that thing goes for you, that's probably going to be the project of the year. That Princess Diamond project, the boa.
Yeah, she's outstanding.
Because that's a fucking really, really not only expensive snake, but that's a gorgeous fucking snake. That snake, it's a one of a kind right there.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite snakes we have.
Yeah, so good luck with that. I'm looking forward to it. Now, if I want to talk about, like, you being a female in the hobby, right? Because I mean, to be honest, like, the females I do know in the hobby are badass, but there's just not that many of them. I mean, or maybe there are, but what have you seen? Like, do you feel like the female population's getting bigger in the hobby as well, like with the big growth, or I mean, is there something I'm missing, or what do you think?
Well, honestly, the female is what started the hobby, because females were breeding and keeping reptiles before men were, and the husband, like, this is a true story. Yeah. This goes way back.
Tell it. Girl power. Go ahead. Tell it.
So it was initially women that were keeping snakes and lizards and things like that, and their husbands supported them doing it, and it just kind of like one day just turned more male, I think, because they've seen it more as a business and wanted to make money doing it, where females just kept them because they loved them. But there is a whole group of female reptile keepers out there. There's a Facebook page. There's actually one in Australia too that I'm grouped in with. So yeah, it's coming out of the woodwork. I definitely think that, and more women are speaking out now and having their own podcasts and things like that, where it's been all just kind of men. But if you really go back in time, women were the first ones keeping snakes.
Respect. And I think I saw something about that on Facebook. You know, Facebook, you'll see some really old articles or like people like shared the crazy shit on Facebook. And I could have sworn it was a lady like with rattlesnakes, like she was breeding rattlesnakes or something like that. But she had rattlesnakes in her hands. And so I think that's fun. I might have to YouTube that later. But
yeah, you should.
Damn, that was a heavy one. Thanks, Des. All right, Des. I gave Desiree a heads up on this. You guys are going to now hear about this, but for the first time ever, we're doing something special. Trap Talk podcast will now be taking callers who have a question. So what I'll do is after the first hour or so, I'll have a caller come in and ask a question. So I went ahead and handpicked these 3 first callers because, you know, this is the first time doing it. But moving forward, if you want to ask a question, all you have to do is send an email to the snaketrapsessions@gmail.com. And I'll pick pick 3 next time to hop in, ask a question. You can either do a visual audio or just audio. Okay. So I have a caller in right now. Actually, I think we have JK Reptile Labs from Michigan. JK Reptile Labs, you are on Trap Talk podcast. How are you?
Fantastic.
Doing great. How are you, MJ? Hi, Des.
Hi.
What's your question for Ms. Desiree?
Well, we were wondering if you could see one major change in the industry, what would it be?
That they stop trying to ban our beloved animals.
Wow. And
Absolutely
then,
much needed.
now to capitalize on that, Desiree, you're one of the biggest supporters of US Arc. You've been supporting US Arc for a while. Josh, Chris, you guys support US Arc.
Absolutely.
I support US Arc. So what we can all do to help that wish come true for Desiree is support US Arc big time.
Yeah, it's super sad the way that legislation can just come in and just start banning animals and trying to take things that people have been passionate about for so long and that is their livelihood. Like this is my livelihood. Like if they start banning things that I'm breeding and using to feed my son, like, you know, there's a lot of people out there that this is all they do. They don't have a normal job. This is it. So,
Yep.
important.
All right. Thanks for your question, JK Reptile Labs. You have a wonderful night, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. You
Thanks,
too.
guys.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Des, it's pretty difficult, man, with the whole, you know, legislation, laws, things. But I also want to ask you this too. As long as you've been in this industry, how long has this stuff been a threat?
I mean, it's always been there, but I think more recently it's just, yeah, I mean, it's always been there and they've always been fighting, but I guess because of social media, it's very in your face right now. Like everybody's talking about it, everybody's feeling it. So yeah.
Okay. Now, I mean, what would you say to somebody who's not really like in a position where they could donate money to US Arc? What's another good thing they can do?
You can write letters to the legislation. I believe USARC has like a copy and paste type thing that you can do, where you can go send in letters to the different areas, different branches in your cities, so that you guys can stop it at the lower level before it gets to where it is, where it stops it.
I mean, because at the okay, so hold on. What I was going to say is, I mean, right now the big threat is not being able to keep tegus and another list of animals, right? That's the biggest thing that's happening.
Florida.
Do you in Florida, right? So, I mean, do you have an idea like what other states are at risk, like, or what the next ones are at risk other than Florida? I mean, do they kind of give you an insight on that at all?
Yeah, it's on the website for USARC, and they have alerts to tell you what states and what's going on. So just follow that, and you'll stay up to date.
Okay, 100%. Now, Des, as far as your breeding plans go, right? Because I mean, there's, you know, you have a few projects, right? So, you know, you have Bubs's Scrub project, right, and the Abonia projects. But what are your special projects? Like, what are the ones that are closest to you, like in your heart?
Definitely the tree monitors, getting those babies, because Stephen and I found those eggs together, and that was like, holy shit, we actually did it. So anything monitor related, all the lizards, and the Abonia too. We got a couple females that are definitely gravid, and those are live bears. So that's pretty cool just to walk in and see all the babies climbing all over the cages. But I'm raising black dragons right now, so that's going to be like my big one eventually. And then the lace monitors, they're getting close. And then the Mertens, she had an infertile clutch. But yeah, I just love the monitors. I don't know what it is, but ever since we got the tree monitors, I've just been obsessed with them.
I'm glad you brought up the monitors. Now, before we get into monitors, or maybe this next caller has a question about monitors. It could be, I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know if you know my friend here, but this is Andrew Oivo. I'm sure he has a question. Hi, Andrew.
Hi everyone.
Hey, what's up?
How are you, Des? I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. I was just gonna say that. Long time no see.
Yeah, just a little.
Andrew in the house. What's up, Andrew? How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. Just got done cleaning everyone, so just trying to just enjoy the rest of the day and have to do it all again tomorrow.
Now, I did have to ask, I wanted to ask Andrew if he could come in, show some love to Des, because we love you, Des. We're obviously big fans of you.
Des, I can honestly say, out of all the people I've met in this hobby, you're definitely one of the few people that stand out to me. Not only just meeting you through Forest, but just how, just within the first 10 minutes of meeting you, I was like, okay, she runs the show. You're like, I knew. I was like, okay. I was like, this is who's in charge of everything. Every say goes, regardless of when Forrest was like getting these ideas of like, I'm not going to get one, I'm going to get 50. I was like, Desiree's probably on board with this too.
Right there.
And just seeing where you guys have gone just in the year and just how you guys haven't stopped, like, has been just so motivating to me. It seems like almost nothing can stop you. And at the same time, it's very inspiring to not only me, but to everyone around, that is in this hobby. And
thank you.
There's not many people that I can truly compare, even though I didn't know you guys for a very long time. Just you guys in a way changed my life. Just meeting you guys, I've just been able to know that anywhere, if I'm in the area, I can make a phone call and come see you guys. But not only that, it's just seeing what you guys have done and seeing where you guys are headed is just, it's always like that. One of the few things that remind me every time, like, I feel down on myself, like if I'm not doing things to the level that I feel, I'm just like, man, if they're doing it, I can do it, and everything is a learning process. But at the same time, it's just having you guys have it as an example, just, I don't know, it's just always motivating. And it just leaves this instillment in my brain that I don't really have words for. It's just when MJ invited me on, I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to say, but I'm here anyways. Because just getting to see you guys, even though I'm not there in person, it still feels like we're all together. So I'm just happy to be here and see you guys.
For sure, man.
Now, Andrew, real quick, I do want to say we were just talking about some of her favorite projects, and she mentioned the Black Dragon monitors and whatnot. Andrew's fucking my monitor mentor. I asked Andrew. I mean, thank you, by the way, Andrew. You've been fucking nonstop helping me throughout the last couple of weeks, nonstop. But what can you have any questions for Desiree, monitor related or anything like that, or what do you have for Des?
As far as monitor related, the only thing I would say is when I come, I'm going to give you and Steven new ideas for just caging and just how we can just continue to make it better. Because the way I think this hobby grows is allowing other people to succeed. I don't need to be the person that does it for every little thing. So if I can put my 2 cents here, that can make you guys not only better keepers, but also allow you to progress to that next level other than just keeping. To me, it's just a win-win for all of us, because I love seeing not only my friends succeed, it's just we all benefit from it, just because it's just a great feeling, and it replicates to something that, it's crazy. We're keeping these animals in captivity, but I think a lot of people kind of forget that we're only keeping them, it's just being able to take to that next level of also being able to get these animals to breed is just that next step forward that I think every keeper kind of has the idea and thinks about it, but to actually be able to make it happen is definitely the difference between yourself and every other keeper. And that's not talking in particular to you, just as a whole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I feel a lot of people kind of want the idea of wanting to keep stuff, but you guys have the means of doing so and doing things that a lot of people can't do. But also, and it's not something to rub in people's faces, it's just you guys work very hard to get to where you're at. So now at this point, it's just adding the other stepping stones needed to help you, you know, full circle that level of success that you guys are shooting for.
Yes, thank you very much.
No, I can't wait to see you guys, and I can't wait to see where things are headed, and hopefully we'll see everyone in Texas. I know MJ doesn't want to, but that's where I'm also considering.
I'll go visit you, fools.
Texas
the day
is
you
where
guys
it's at.
The day you guys get real taco shops in Texas, and you fucking cut out the Tex-Mex, I'll be there. I'll be there right next to my friends. But
me and MJ are opening up a burrito place called the Burrito Hut. No one knows about it, but it's gonna happen. Just know it's a real thing. And
I want to be the food tester.
It's not gonna have meat, just so you know. It's gonna have no meat.
It's gonna be like
that's fine.
Just vegetarian based, and the other will be all like THC and CBD based. For MJ. So.
Oh man, much love, Andrew. Thanks for hopping in, man. I appreciate you so much. You have a great night.
Everyone
okay?
have a good night, guys. I hope to see you guys soon, and you guys stay safe. I'll see you guys soon.
Man.
All right, man. Love you, dog. Thank you.
Bye.
Andrew Acevedo. You like that call? That was a good call.
That was a good call. I didn't have a question. I get
no.
He
was supposed to have a question for you, but you can't ask question to Andrew. He knows it all. So it's like, or you know what I mean? Or Andrew's not going to ask you a question because he knows it all. But I love Andrew.
He's my go-to as well.
He's my go-to for sure. Now I will say this. If it wasn't for Andrew, there's no way in hell I would have stumbled. I mean, I'm sure I would have stumbled across Forrest and you guys at some point, but it wouldn't have happened so quick because when Andrew started hearing about my obsession of like, hey, I want to get into other stuff, he was like, well, you know what other stuff's out there? And I'm like, give me an idea. And then he showed me Forrest's page and I was like, what? And I just, from there, dude, like you guys have Abonia pictures that are fucking in Google. Like you type in they're the first popular picture you'll see is an Abonia owned by Reptek.
Yeah.
It's your hand, isn't it?
It's his hand, but it was my post.
Okay. I got the likes, motherfucker.
No, that photo went viral as fuck. It's all over Reddit too.
Right.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy. Okay, and we could repeat this story for everyone real quick. What's the only reason why Forrest started Instagram?
God. To prove to me that he could get 10,000 followers before me.
Right. And then you joined, and then it was like it just became competition for a second, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was total competition because I was on it early 2012, 2013. And I started it just to like keep in touch with my sisters because I had moved away and was at school and stuff. And so it was more of like just a family thing. And then I would post and he'd be like, oh, don't overpost. You're overposting. You're over commenting. And you just like criticize my Instagram constantly. And I'm like, you fucking have one then. You do it. You don't even have one. So you can't say shit about it. He's like, all right, fine. I'll get an Instagram and I'll show you how easy it'll be for me to get 10,000 followers right away and blah, blah, blah. And like, he fucking did it too, the little shit.
And then he stopped posting.
Yeah, because he wouldn't overpost. It had to be like the best picture and just, thought out. And yeah, he was particular on his posts.
Oh my God. I miss that guy. He's so funny. Yeah, I always thought that story was a kick. Yeah, man, that's so funny. And real quick, I wanted to say this guy doesn't hop around too much. I know he's a busy guy, but here we are again. I already knew because you're here. Patrick Holmes was going to come by and say hi. So there's Patrick Holmes in the building saying yo to the homegirl Desiree.
What's up, man?
We love Patrick, don't we?
Yes.
We got to meet Patrick at Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
He's just as ripped as I thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's so He's like a ripped dude, man. But he's such a great guy, and you know, I'll tell you, man. I think Patrick. I learned about Patrick from Forrest, because his content, you know, and he's fucking amazing. What was that? Everything good? What was that? The dog?
No, it's just my hair clip.
Oh, okay, you're good. I didn't know what the fuck that was, but anyways, oh my God, look who else is here. You ready?
Yeah.
Ryan Woolison.
No way.
Ryan Woolison is here. This is crazy. What is happening? Is Forrest sending these guys? This is crazy right now. Ryan Woolison in the building. Another fave real quick. Let's talk about the Miss Woolly lines because, dude, I only learned about the Miss Woolly lines because of Forrest. You know, he has iconic pictures of these beautiful, gigantic, fucking damn emeralds that he inquired. And then, you know, I just, you know, Miss Willy line is something that always stuck in my head, right? But Ryan works with fucking probably the nicest collection of Miss Woolly lines. But yeah, let's talk about what, you know, that collection, you know, that project to you, because, you know, it's important, right? That whole stuff's a big part of Reptek. Am I right?
Yeah. So that's the female that we think is gravid right now. Is the Miss Woolly.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. And then how old? Do you recall how old she is? I mean, she has age on her, right?
I believe so. Yeah. I could not tell you for sure.
Okay. And the male you paired her to was what male?
I don't know. Just I really don't know if it's something special. That's a Steven question. He keeps track of all that for me.
He does. All right here too.
He's so nerdy, like ridiculous.
He's a dreamy kind of nerdy though.
Yeah.
That's why I sometimes I gotta be careful the way I say the word nerd, because I'm not trying to roast on Steve. Steven's my kind of nerd. Steven's like, I'm proud to call him my homie, and he's a nerd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely.
He's making nerds cool again. All right, let's talk about Bubs, man. Who is Steven Kush to you?
My best friend and my coworker and manager of Reptek, but definitely my best friend for sure.
You guys been through a lot together.
Yeah, that's for sure. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have ended up in a hole trying to die and just go away. And yeah.
God bless him. I love Steven. He's a good kid.
Very good.
It sucks because at some point I'm not gonna be able to call him a kid anymore.
Yeah.
At some point.
In July.
21-year-old still could be a kid.
I don't know.
Him, no, he don't deserve. Like once he's 21, he's like, you can't. Steven, you couldn't call Steven a kid at 14. You know, he was already fucking keeping fucking notes and books of shit, like of how much.
Yeah, I think that's why we get along so well, because he has the mentality of a 35-year-old.
And he doesn't like to let anything slip by him. Like he's super like, he's on it. That boy's on it. I love that kid, man. He's just super on it.
Very much so.
I almost try to find ways to like slip things by him, and it's impossible. You can't. He's on top of everything.
Yeah.
Now, Steven coming, because we got to understand that Steven's been with you guys for 3 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
He came over when he was 17 or no, 18. He came over when he was 18.
Yeah.
Super young.
Mm-hmm.
But there was not much you needed to do to that kid. Like he kind of like was self-motivated,
Yeah.
You guys obviously taught him a lot, but like he fucking put all the pieces and puzzle together himself.
Yes.
Does that make sense? He put everything together, and you got to understand. You know, Forrest, when he was here, there was times where he relied on Steven for a lot of shit, if not everything. Right? And Steven ran the show. Steven ran the show and continues to run the show. But like I want to know, like, you know, seeing progression in Steven in the last 2 years, like what have you personally seen, like, or what can you say about the growth you've had with Steven since him coming to Reptek and working for you, and now you guys are partners, you know, actually partners. So what's that like for you?
It's Well, he'd always lived with us, so I knew his hours. I knew when he left, when he came home, and there was extreme dedication. And it's only gotten more and more and more, where he's getting up earlier, getting out there earlier, the last one there. Just pure dedication and a drive, like ridiculous drive.
Yeah, it's true. And what's crazy is like, you know, he earned his fucking stripes because you went through your shit in the beginning, right? And what did he do the first year? He didn't leave the rat barn in the first year.
No, yeah. He was hired as a reptile keeper, and then we had our staff go from like 10 people down to like 4 people. And we're like, you gotta go in the barn, you gotta figure it out, you gotta learn, you gotta help manage this thing. So he kind of got thrown into the management position right away and figured it out. And you know, it's hard because when you're that young and you're managing people that are all older than you, you got to earn that respect. And so he definitely did do that, and I think everybody respects him pretty well there.
Steven wants to hold his amount of respect, and I know that's super important to him. That way, you know, that's why I'm also careful with things I do, because I gotta be careful. You know, Bubs is so like, you know, you gotta watch out. You know what I mean? It's his what he's built is very important, and it's important to me too. But the guy is so legit. He just lives a legit life, and you know, it's like that's what you need, is just to have someone else, you know, a homie who's just legit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's very, very, very good for me. Steven is very good for this business, very good for me. He's allowing me to be more of a mom, because like, the reason I don't stay home every day is obviously when Forrest passed, I couldn't stay home alone. I couldn't just raise Lars by myself. I needed help. Like I genuinely needed to get out of my house. I needed help. So that's why I got a full-time sitter, and just spent every minute of my life at the farm and in with the reptiles and teaching Steven and learning from Steven as well. He's very knowledgeable. It's like ridiculous. He knows more about my animals than I know about them. And that's a lot. That's a lot to say.
You probably knew more about your animals before you even moved over to your place.
Oh, for fucking sure. Hands down.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I've gotten to the point now where I'm doing much better. And so I think I'm going to start spending a lot more time. Exactly. I think I'm going to start spending more time with Lars, because I'm missing some of these like milestones and things he's doing. Like the other day, the babysitter's like, oh yeah, he knows how to throw things away in the trash can now. And I'm like, what?
You're like, hell no.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I tell him to go throw that away, and he does it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing that. Like,
hard.
so yeah, we actually we bought a house, so that's pretty fucking dope.
All right. Okay, for one thing, I kind of went in hard on Steven on this because I didn't fucking know about this. I had no idea, okay, that this was happening. But he slipped up and he's like said something about the new basement. I was like, what new basement? He's like, oh, well, you don't know? I'm like, no, what? I was like, what new basement are we talking about? He's like, yeah, man, we got a new house. I'm like, bro, that's not something you just low-key not tell people. Like, tell me, I want to know more. And he fucking told me, and there's so much going on. So let's talk about the new house.
So the new house is my dream house. It's 4,300 square feet, and it has a basement, unfinished basement. It has this little playroom for Lars. And then there's 4 bedrooms and 4 baths, and it's going to just be fucking amazing. So the basement, and then there's going to be like, so there's going to be like a chondro room upstairs. You know how people have like 2 living rooms? So like this living room is going to be the chondros, and like a computer or something on the first floor. And then in the basement, we're definitely going to do some shit down there. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but I need to have animals around me 24/7. So I think I'm going to keep some of the monitors in my basement.
Okay. I don't want to speak out of context here or anything, but Steven kind of confirmed, but I don't need a hotel anymore when I visit, right?
Correct. Yeah. So one of the bedrooms has its own bathroom in it. So it's pretty dope.
That's mine. It's mine and Lily's. Ship it. It's what I want. And I'll cook breakfast in the morning. I cook a really good breakfast. Okay. So,
Hell yeah.
And if hopefully Mindy's around so we could have some more Italian food, that'd be great.
Yeah. She
How's
should
how's the homegirl Mindy? I love Mindy. How's Mindy?
She is a godsend. She's my sister. She's 4 years younger than me, and she's been out here working. She busts her ass, man. She like can organize a room and clean it up, and just you look in there and you're like, what a shit show. And then Minnie goes in there and it's like a whole nother world. So she is great, and she's great with Lars. She takes care of him for me and lets me go to the gym at night and takes care of him, gets him to bed, gets him up in the morning. She's amazing.
Yeah. You pat yourself on the back on that one because you're big sisters. So
yeah, no, she turned out really good. Like she was a little fit. She definitely had her days. Yeah, I was just like,
she's a middle child. Middle childs are the hardest ones to deal with. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So she actually turned out really, really good. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, she's awesome. I'm glad I got to meet her and to see how she works with Lars. Like she's big auntie, you know what I mean? She gets along so great with that kid, and it must be a super relief for you. Like you said, you're able to like
breathe.
Because like I mean, it must be difficult because some people don't maybe have an opportunity for a sister or a relative to take care of their kid, and they have to pay someone to do it, which that works for them a lot. But I'm sure there's people that fear like, fuck, who's with my kid or something like that. And for you to actually be able to go have a peace of mind and do your thing, and Lars is with Mindy, you're like, fucking, I'm sure that helps you sleep at night.
It does for sure.
Now, where's Lars at in his growth? I mean, I know he's throwing away shit right now, right? He is talking. I hear him mumbling and saying things now. But what are the words any confirmed words he says right now?
Hi. He can say hi. He says that a lot. He said mama. He can say dada. He can say Coco, which is one of the dog's names at the babysitter. And then Nana is what he calls his babysitter. So he's got a few words, but mostly still just mumbling.
Oh man, his teeth are growing in too, right? So I mean, how many teeth does he have in now?
I think he's got a pretty full set of teeth. They're just getting bigger because they're just coming out,
Des, I don't know. I knew you were popular, but I didn't know you were that popular. So I mean, we had Patrick Holmes in the building, right? Mm-hmm. Ryan Wollaston, and to me, this is a big deal. And I hope you have Socrates in the building, like Socrates. Just doesn't show up for things, and now we just have like just straight legendary people just showing up for you, Des.
I'm excited. I'm glad everybody's here. He can't say chondro yet. He will.
Okay, but can he say chondro yet? Oh my God! Let's see. Let's have a bet. Is Lars gonna say chondro first or biac first?
I don't know.
I say biac. Let's get him to say biac.
Right,
I think if we can get Lars to say biac and then chondro, Patrick will go ahead and do yoga performances on the next Trap Talk live. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what's crazy is like, oh man, like Lars is growing so fast, but like fast to where you blink an eye, he's gonna be in that snake room, like in the snake room. I'm talking about like, give me like, you know what I mean? Like he already takes control of the yeah. But like, when is he gonna get his own like phone?
Fuck that. I don't know about all that.
Like, okay, what kind of mom are you gonna be? Like, obviously Lars is gonna be like up and at him by the time he's 5. He's gonna be well advanced, like with what he's doing, right? But if you really feel like he could handle like his stories and stuff, are you like, what point are you gonna give him a phone and say, all right, run the show, Lars, on your
I mean, it's obviously going to be younger and younger that kids are getting phones, because when I didn't even get my first phone until I was in 10th grade. Okay, that ages me. But anyway.
So that's us. We're 35. Like, dude, in 10th grade also, I mean, there were still people rocking beepers and pagers in 10th grade. That was 2001, 2002. You know what I mean? So if you had a phone in 10th grade, you're spoiled. If you had a phone in 10th grade, you're spoiled.
I believe that. Yeah. No. So, you know, I mean, I don't let him. We don't watch TV around here. Like we watch YouTube and we'll put stuff on here and there. But like, I don't know. I want him to be an outdoor kid and like an animal kid and not be obsessed with screens and TV and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait it out as long as I can until he's finally like, Mom, I'm the only one in my class that doesn't have a phone, and maybe then I'll break down. But
I hear you. And that's kind of like, yeah, I would only do it if like, all right, my kid's about to get punked and like made fun of just because he doesn't like
exactly.
they're trying to call him poor. Fuck that. Oh man. I mean, I don't know. It's good to teach your kid not to have materialistic things, but you also want your kid to feel good too. You know what I mean? So it's like you just got to find that balance. And I feel like that's the good thing is like you kind of look at kids his own age, like what are they doing? Like, do they have phones? You know what I mean? Or like, you know, does Connor, who's coming to hang out with Lars every weekend, does he have a phone? You know, and I guess that's a good way.
And maybe just like phone time, like you can use it when I'm around, but you can't just have it 24/7. You know, like start them slow, something like that.
Dude, there's things I don't really enjoy doing in life that I really take back. One thing for sure that I do does is when I worked for Verizon back in my day, like back when I was a savage salesman, I would close people on giving the 4-year-old, 5-year-old like a phone or a tablet or like something. And like, oh my God, it's just like I remember in the back of my mind, I would do them like, dude, I would fucking never give my kid a fucking tablet. Are you kidding me? What an idiot. But you know, here I am fucking taking the commission and stuff like that. But because I just feel like, I mean, dude, we grew up good enough without any of that shit. You know what I mean? I had a great childhood without having to look at a tablet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I could say even the best parents, like parents who I respect and look up to, still like put a tablet in front of their kids when it's necessary. You know what I mean? So it's you know, because there is, and at the end of the day, those tablets could, you know, if they're looking at the right app, if they're looking at the right thing, it teaches them shit. You know what I mean? They do learn on that thing. You know what I mean? So, because let's see, right now, Lars is all about just watching his fucking snake bites, right? Every morning.
Yeah.
Is that his favorite thing right now? Still snake bites?
Oh yeah, he's into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does he kind of give you an idea what his favorite animal is right now?
I think it's a snake because he's got like a ton of stuffed animals, and there's 3 stuffed animal snakes, and there's a Komodo dragon. And for some reason, when he goes to pick out a stuffed animal, he brings out that snake and he wraps it around his shoulders and runs around with it. So I don't know, maybe the snake.
I guess we'll find out sooner or later.
Yeah, and anytime he gets in a room, he grabs the snake hooks. So he's like all about it.
At least he's like safety first already. You know what I mean? You got to give the kid props. You know what I mean? He's already like, all right, I'm going to get yelled at least I'm doing something safe. You know what I mean? So it's like, because it's crazy. I'm sure like he's picking up on things quick. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is he kind of looking for ways to, I mean, is he looking for ways he can take to get his own way sometimes when you tell him no? Like, is he already like masterminding and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. He's definitely sneaky. He can open the doors that have baby proofing on them. So
the ones you have to squeeze down and turn.
Yeah, he can open those.
His hands he could probably already palm a basketball.
I know.
How are you able to like those make that difficult for a kid to like, you know, palm and turn, you know what I mean? So
not him.
I mean, I think that's another thing that kind of keeps you on your feet is you got to watch this kid wherever he goes because he's all over the place, huh?
Yeah, he is. He is wild, very wild, nonstop. Doesn't want to sit still. You can't hold him, and you can't console him either. When he gets hurt, he doesn't want to be held. He doesn't want you. He doesn't want a hug or anything. He's just so independent.
Just let me scream. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Freaking Lars, man. Now you didn't have any brothers. You're just the girls, right? You had you and 2 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Forrest had 2 brothers and 1 brother.
1 brother.
1 brother and then 1 sister?
No, 3.
3 sisters. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's kind of crazy how you guys got a boy. Like,
I know.
do you think the girls would be, more heavy in that?
Yeah. I knew it was going to be a boy the whole time.
Are you happy? I mean, obviously, look at you. Girls could be sick as fuck. Girls are sick as fuck. Sorry, I'm not trying to say could be. They are sick as fuck. But like, were you kind of like, oh man, like, I don't know if I want a girl, or were you like, what were you thinking to yourself when you were pregnant?
I didn't care either way. I know Forrest wanted a girl, but I knew that boys would probably be a little bit easier. And it's going pretty well. Like, no complaints.
Keeps you moving. That's awesome. Now, Des, I do want to talk about a little bit, I know we talked a little bit about, well, actually, no, we didn't. I want to talk about more about the Abonia, because the Abonia is something really important to Reptek. Something that, do you guys have the biggest Abonia collection in the United States? I mean, who has a bigger Abonia collection than you guys?
I think we do.
It's a big one. And
yeah, counted today, we have about 42 animals right now.
42 Abronias?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how many of those are breeding?
Probably, I don't know, 30.
30. Okay.
Yeah.
And those, I mean, how I know, obviously keeping them in a, cooler temps, right? Like, they have their own room. The Bronia is not in the main room. There's right. A different room when you walk in, and it's cooled, and the temps running in that room is around what the whole time?
70, 73.
70, 73. Right.
Yeah. It's the montane room. So like up in the cloud forest.
Okay. Sick. I love it, because those are found in the mountains, right? Those are found in high altitudes. Is that why they are so okay?
Mm-hmm.
In Mexico. Mm-hmm. What's up, man? Listen, I know you and Forrest tried really hard to make it to the wedding, but I think we're going back down there in January or something. Why don't you and Steven come? All you can eat, all you can drink. And you could bring Lars.
Next January?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that January is already over.
No, really, because Steven ain't never been anywhere tropical. Fucking
he won't leave this place. I try so hard to get him to go do shit. But now we'll go.
Well, because of you, he's gonna be able to do it now. You guys are gonna be able to, especially after like COVID chills out and shit. You have a bunch of free time to go do stuff. Because if it's one thing you guys like to do, is go to reptile shows. You guys hit them up. You're no strangers to shows. You guys love the shows.
Yeah, for fucking real.
For fucking real. Daytona going down in August. What's good?
Daytona represent.
Look at that. Wow. You excited or what?
Yeah. I love the Daytona show. It's on the beach. I mean, how much better could it be?
I heard everyone's going to that show. Like, it's going to be popping.
Good. I'm down.
So I'm hella going to go to that. It's, I think, August 14th or something like that. I can't remember. But
yeah, it's always around my dad's birthday every year.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And I actually have I could say I've actually been to a show with Steven and Desiree, and it's fun. I mean, especially when you watch them spend money, it's really fun. They don't fuck around. I saw them buy a Bell's Phase at Arlington. And who was it from again? It was from Tracy or who?
Saranam Farms. But
I'm sorry, my internet cut out. Say that one more time.
Saranam Farms.
Okay.
What's the first name? Church. It's something Church. Don Church.
Don Church. Okay. Don Church. Okay. Because there's not that many people producing bells right now. I mean, you could definitely count on one hand. Don Church, obviously one of them. And then you obviously have, John and Alex at Sim Container. Shout out to Sim Container. And then you guys are looking to be on that list.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. It's exciting.
Yeah.
You and Steven, Reptek as a company, is the biggest reason why I'm getting a Bell's face. You guys put that instill that love for me when I was at your guys' facility. And okay, I loved Kilo, but did I get near Kilo? Did I want to touch Kilo? No. I respected the shit. Honestly, the way just being next to Des and having her fuck with Kilo, my heart wanted to just stop. Like it was too much. I'm terrified of Kilo. Even though Kilo is amazing, I just didn't feel that like, okay, I want to work with you connection. But when you guys put the normal lace female, when she crawled up on my arm, I just felt it. And then when I would see the bells, I just felt it. And then ever since then, I was just like, I have to have one. And the stars aligned. And now I'm really, really about to be about that Bell's life with you guys.
So are you really getting a trio?
Yeah, well, I already have a pair. So I have my male coming tomorrow, which probably why I'm not going to sleep tonight. My male's coming tomorrow. The female is a few weeks younger than the male. It's already born, obviously, but she's going to take a few more meals, and then she'll be here in about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping to God to get my normal from you guys.
All righty then.
I'll wait too. I'm not, listen, I'm just like, I don't even have plans. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I do have plans on breeding, but if that works out, I don't know if that's going to work out yet. I don't even know if I could even call myself a monitor guy yet. I'm hoping I can. I want to, but this game ain't for everybody. It's not. Monitors are no joke. Like they're no joke. And I understand that and I respect that. But your experience working with monitors, Des, like you love the black dragons like that. And black dragons are no joke. Okay. So we already know we could talk about that right now. So that's your big hearted project, the black dragons, which you bought both those from Corey over at Toothless Reptiles of San Diego, right?
Yep.
What's it been like raising those up so far? Because are they a year yet?
No.
Okay, they're big. They're fucking
really big. Yeah, they've already outgrown their current enclosures, so we're working on the upgrade now. But yeah, they grew really fast and they love to eat. And one of them is super chill and tolerates me, lets me play with it. The other one, not so much. But I'm hoping I can still work with it because they're at that age now where they're like, you can start handling them and they're curious and they're fun. And I just love them. They're just so unique and so black. I love the color on them.
And like, I love dark stuff, but like they are like, if you're really about that dark life, a black dragon is your dream. That's your dream animal because it's pitch black. It looks like it's like ready to go to war. Like it has really tough skin, and it's an impressive animal.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see you grow with those. And I remember when you first got them, how excited you were. And I can still see the excitement every time you post them on your stories and stuff. You love them. You love those animals for sure.
Yeah, my babies.
Now, obviously, you have a technique, or maybe you have like some sort of like planned out like technique or approach when come handling your black dragon. But what is something that you've been doing or knowing that's been working when handling the black dragons?
It's every day I try to go in there and just at least put my hands in there, change their waters. I usually go up underneath them and let them kind of crawl onto my hand, and then I'll pull them out and they'll run around on my wrists and up my arm. I'm not really scratched up right now, actually, from the picture, because we had to get the Bell's phase out too, and she's pretty skittish still. So we had to tame her down and get her to be calm enough, and then I had to get one of the dragons out, get that to be calm enough, and be able to hold both of them at the same time. That was fucking awesome, actually. Yeah.
Oh man. Now when you say, oh, hold on real quick. Someone's giving you love. Brian Cusco in the building.
The house. What's up, homie?
The industry's hippie. Brian Cusco. We love Brian. No, but okay, so like you said the female is becoming more tolerable than the male, or was it the other way around?
I honestly don't know which is which right now. So whoops.
Okay. All right, let's talk. Well, I mean, not whoops. That's actually common. It's hard to kind of confirm a sex for a monitor until they get to a certain point in age, right?
Well, ones were sexed and chipped when we got them, and then we put when they were super tiny babies, we put them together. So at that point, you're not going to really know. So now it's which one is going to get bigger, you know.
So that's what you're waiting for. Once they
start getting size on them, then we'll know.
Yeah, because I was actually talking to Alex, because, you know, like I said, he also wants to hold the female for a little bit longer just to make sure it's a female, just like because what you said, because they kind of give you an idea based off the head structure and and we're talking about laces. I'm not talking about black dragons. Okay. So he's telling me based off their head structure, their body frame is kind of how you have an idea on if like what the sex is, right? But he, you know, just to be safe, he's like, I'll hold on to what I think is a female for a little bit extra longer just to make sure it's a female. But yeah, man, shit. Good luck on that sex, dude. You know what I mean?
I'm not worried about it because at a certain point, you know, one of them's gonna have eggs, and then you know. So
right. Now, if we could also talk about the enclosures for the monitors, because that's also in the works. That's also a project, right? Like, because you know you have the monitors in its own room right now.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Steven told me that there's a different room being built for the monitors, or is that still going to be the I mean, I can't remember. Remind me what's going on with the monitors, if you don't mind.
So the cabin is being built so that we can move all the pythons out of there, and then once the crocs are out of the main room, then we can have more space for monitors. So they'll be in the main room eventually, more of them. And it's just tricky because with everything we've learned, like they shouldn't be facing each other.
Right.
So that's what we got to figure out, how we can keep them in there without them having to stare at each other.
Now, but you're also getting locks and stuff from like the tree monitor.
They're just a super compatible pair. I don't know what it is because they've always been in traffic areas and always around other animals. And yeah, they did great. I think it's just, we just got lucky with them, like that they're so compatible together.
Right. But, you know, it's also, you know, it's so crazy too, because all these techniques of like what people suggest really doesn't always work for somebody who's already had a seasoned room or seasoned, like, you know what I mean? Or it could, but I don't know. Like, you know, Steven brought up a good point when we talked that, you know, things that you've already had in play with your monitor rooms or like they're already used to a lot of the things, you know what I mean? So
yeah, like the spraying, we wanted to like cut down on spraying them, and then we saw them like not do as well, so we had to go back to it because they're used to that.
Right. Okay. Now the tree monitors, man, different ball game, right? Like a little slightly different than an actual like big monitor, right?
They small.
Now, let's see. Maintenance wise, keep wise, would you say keeping a tree monitor is a little bit more difficult than a actual, like, you know, big monitor?
It just depends on what kind of space you have, really. You know, I think tree monitors are a little bit easier because they're more sociable. They run around, they do their own thing. They're kind of just like all over the place. Big monitors, you got to have the space for it. You got to have their diet. Like tree monitors, mostly just crickets, where other monitors you're doing chicken, rats, fish, eggs, whatever. So they have a little bit more going on, I think.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you right now, what an impressive animal the tree monitors are. And when I went to your guys' place, scares the shit out of me how they just fucking take off and run. Like, you know, I think it was the black male tree monitor who was just fucking sketch, dude. Just like all, if he saw you, he would just like run and then hide. But like, would you say that like those are a little bit more trickier than the actual monitors themselves, like a bigger monitor?
I mean, it depends if you want to be holding them all the time, I guess. I think it just depends on the person, but I find them all about the same. I don't really handle the tree monitors, so I guess I can't really say that, but
neither does Steven though, right? Nobody handles them. You guys have done those are just kind of like doing their thing, right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Now you've had locks. Let's see, the blues are going at it right now, pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you go ahead, Des. What'd you say?
I said they're paired up right now.
Paired up. Okay, and I remember Steven putting a story where things were looking pretty good with them, like they were giving the interacting and doing the thing. But you had the green ones last year that you hatched.
Yes.
Dude, sick. How's that feel to hatch those?
It was fucking awesome.
And that's a first for you guys, right?
Yes, that was our first tree monitor eggs. Yeah, they just seeing them in the incubator come out, just popping their little heads out. It was so cool.
Oh my god,
and they're actually getting real big. I just noticed that today, like how big they are getting.
They were born earlier this year. Was it January they were born, or late? Was it last year? No, it was right after I left. They were born.
Yeah.
So right after I visit is when they were born.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is they're born blue, like they look blue.
They did, yeah.
Right, and now the green's starting to floss out and stuff like that. But what's crazy is how they came out blue.
Yeah, it was really wild. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it. That was a trip. Also, really, something you guys should be really proud of, because I think this year you guys are going to obviously repeat it, and obviously maybe add another species on top of that.
That would be sick.
So what would you say, Des, your favorite, like what's the most anticipated project you have going on this year for you personally? Like just for you, like you're just like, damn it, I hope this works out. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I want the chondros and the emeralds to work out.
Okay.
I really do. And the lace. For monitors, it'd be the lace. And then for snakes, it would be the emeralds for sure.
Oh yeah, for me personally, for you guys, the laces.
Yeah. Oh
my god, Des, this has been amazing. I can't thank you enough, Des. Like all I gotta say is you're a very important friend to me. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for always believing me. I know it's not always easy being my friends with the shit I do sometimes, but I know you love me. I know we ride for each other. And there's a lot of people who out here support you. Obviously, we had fucking Cusco in the building. We had Patrick in the building. We had Socrates, and we also have Brett Bender in the building. I forgot to shout out the homie Brett Bender, but a lot of heavy hitters for you, Des. So obviously, I just want to let you know you have mad support. Like there's so many people who look up to you, and not to mention all the other females. You know what I mean? Like Lily fucks with you heavy, and she's not even in the reptile game. Well, I guess she's in the reptile game because I'm in the game. So
I love Lily.
Yeah, we can't wait for you guys to hopefully come visit soon. And if not, then we're going to just come see you guys. So you already know I'm trying to go plan to go visit you guys. But I want to make sure I go when that house is like, you guys are in that new house. So when is that new house supposed to go down? When is all that happening?
March 19th is closing.
Okay, shit. So like, you'll be in there by April or so, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, Des. Well, before I let you go, I got to hit you with the hot seat questions, okay? So It's gonna be hot seat question time for Miss Desi Des. And you know how the hot seat questions work, right? I spit you a question. You just got to answer them. I don't need an explanation. Just shoot me what you think, okay?
Okay.
All right, hot questions for Desi Des coming in hot. Frozen thought or live?
It cut out.
Frozen thought or live?
Frozen thawed.
8 cutter or no cut?
No cut.
What? Okay. Big flexor or no flexor? You better be honest.
No flex.
You're lying. She's a flexor. Go look at Desiree's fucking TikTok account. She flexes. She's lying. I'm gonna ask you one more time. Big flexor or no flexor?
I'll flex it.
Thank you. She flexes. All right, baseball or football?
Football.
Okay. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Nirvana or Green Day?
Nirvana.
Oh, nice. Respect. Eminem or Machine Gun Kelly?
Eminem.
West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West.
Okay. This one's really important to me, and you just better answer correct. I'm not answering correct, but speak from your heart, okay? Trippy Red Trippy Red or Lil Peep?
I don't know either of those.
You just gotta say it. You gotta pick one.
Okay, Trippy Red.
Oh, Steven's having a fucking party right now. This is ridiculous. All right, little word association. First thing to come to mind. You ready?
Yeah.
Milk.
Titties.
Yeah. Yes, she's amazing. Coco.
Crisps.
Stuck shed.
Fuck.
Day 52.
Almost there.
Instagram trolls.
Fuck them.
Woo! All right, as one has to go forever, and I mean forever, ever. Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
Done. True words spoken from a legend. Desiree Monnot, Reptek, Cold Blooded Cafe.
Thank you.
Good job, sweetheart. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Des. Like I said, so many people here to support you. It's been cracking this entire time in the comments. What do you have to say to all your supporters, all the people who give you love before you dip out? What do you got to do?
I really just want to say thank you because I've just been having one of those years and I just needed to be reminded to be strong, and MJ does that for me every day. But thank you to everybody who's listening and everybody who donated, and keep it real. I'm doing as best I can, and yeah, thank you again.
You're doing a hell of a job, Des, and thanks for being my friend, like my best friend. You're amazing. I love the shit out of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Give Lars a big hug from his uncle MJ. Yeah, man, I love you. I mean, you guys, you're just an amazing person, Des, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. And I will see you soon. We'll hang out, high five, and fucking kill it. Thank you so much, Des.
All right.
Have a good night. Desiree Monnot, she's out. Woof, what an amazing time. Thank you so much who tuned in, was here for my homegirl, Desiree. That means a lot to me. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about her. She'll definitely be back on the show again. If you really want to see more about Desiree, make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to Unfiltered Reptiles podcast, as she's one of the co-hosts. She brings a lot of the guests to that channel, and it's freaking heat. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to miss out on that. And yeah, man, a force to be reckoned with. If you don't know anything about Reptek, now you know, and shit's gonna come heavy from them. Cold Blooded Cafe, hardest rodent fucking business in the game, proud sponsor. I love those guys, so make sure you guys go check them out. Okay. Thank you again, everyone who was in the comments. Honestly, your guys' ongoing support means the freaking world to me. I know I say I would be doing this regardless of the views or not, or people fucking with it, but at the end of the day, you guys are honestly my biggest push. You guys really bring a smile to my face. Anytime I come into the green room an hour before the show, the comments are already blowing up. That means you guys are ready for this, and that gets me excited. That's where my energy comes from. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the guests who come. Shout out to anyone who fucks with me, believes in me. I appreciate you guys so much. Things are going to come. This show is just getting started. I hope you guys realize what I have in store is not to be played with, okay? So that being said, you want to really get an idea on what MJ has in store for Snake Trap Sessions, Trap Talk with MJ, go down to our Patreon page, join the Patreon group, okay? I got a Patreon family cracking off, okay? Every Sunday, I get together with them. We talk game. I give them ideas. And we talk, back and forth. It's a family thing. We have family. You know what I mean? We're all here for each other. We all want to win. Okay. But if you want to fuck with us, tough. You really want to get the inside scoop and you want to know what I have up my sleeve before every week, join that Patreon page. Most importantly, man, please support USARK. USARK needs our help. We got to come together. And I'm not talking about for a few weeks, bro. We got to stay supporting USARK. This ain't a fucking, oh, let's just do it because fucking Billy asked me to. No, like, support USARK. Like, you got to. Don't make Cusco come out with another video and punk everybody again. That's what he did. He came out and punked everybody. Fucking punked my ass. I'm ready to rock and roll. That's why every single cent, every single dollar that is thrown into a super chat for the Snake Trap Sessions will be donated to USARK. And I'm not talking about just for this month. I'm talking about forever. Unless Spotify writes me a check, I'm gonna have to renegotiate that. But you guys are amazing, okay? Thank you so much. This Saturday, I'm glad I didn't let you guys go just yet. This Saturday, it's going down. Trap Talk dabs in session. More likely going to be vape and coffee for this guy, but he's still going to smoke tough, man. And he's fucking going to come on the show. Shout out to this dude. Cue the intro. Shane Kelly coming on Trap Talk this Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be ready for my mans. He's been in the game just under 3 years. I think even less than that, 2 years. And he's not fucking around. He's my boy. He's coming on. And we're going to learn more about my man, Shane. And I'm sure you already know about Shane because Shane's he's viral right now. He's killing the ball python game. So tap in. Thank you again for the support. You guys subscribe, join the Patreon page, support US Arc. I am not joking. You need to support that.